Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph Thigpen. I am the host for the Root to Rise podcast. Today, we will be interviewing Martina. She completed the program in 2023. She will be sharing a little bit about her experience with Root to Rise, what she did after she completed the program, and what she's doing now. Alrighty. Hello there.
Hi.
My name is Joseph. It's our podcast, Root to Rise. We have Martina here with us, who was in the 2020 program, graduated in 2020 class, right?
2023.
2023?
Yeah,
I'm
and then I
sorry.
did
Denise said 2020. Oh,
that's okay.
wow.
It was so yeah, I did the Root to Rise program in 2021 and then in 2022 as well.
Nice.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So, can you give us a little bit of background about yourself? Like, for example, like where you were born and what schools you attended as a student?
Yeah, so I was actually born in Madison, Wisconsin. My parents are from Uruguay, which is a country in South America. It's next to Argentina and under Brazil. It's the best way to describe it because, you know, like not many people really know about it. But yeah,
Right.
so my parents moved here and then they had me a year later. I have two older sisters. They're both in their late 20s, and I have a younger brother. He's still in high school. I moved around a lot when I was younger, just for like financial reasons and then for job opportunities as well for my parents. But yeah, I went to Leopold in the Madison area. I went to Lincoln and Leopold Elementary, and then for middle school, I went to uh, Cherokee Middle School.
Nice. Okay.
That was something.
I bet.
And then for my 4 years of high school, I went to West High School and I graduated from there in 2023.
Go Regions.
Yeah,
Go
seriously.
Regions. Sure. That's amazing. Like especially when you talk about like where your family originated from. That's very interesting. Um, so I want to know what sparked your interest to become a tutor mentor when you were in high school and the program was presented to you. Like, what were your first thoughts about Root to Rise?
So, actually, it was I think she was my film studies teacher. Her name is Cindy
Noisen.
Noisen.
Okay,
Yeah, Cindy
Cindy.
Noisen. Yeah. She was the one who kind of came up to me and she was like, I think this would be a really great program for you to do. And originally, I actually thought that it was like you have to pay for it because I saw something about money and I kind of skimmed through it and I was like, yeah, I can't afford this. Like,
Right.
I can't pay to do a program over school or over summer. And so I think I don't remember if Noyson was the one who told me like you don't have to pay, or if it was Denise who had reached out because I think Noyson had told her that I was interested.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, I found out that it was free. You actually get a stipend for completing it. And so that's when I was kind of like, oh, this is actually something I'd be interested in. Mainly because I still didn't know what I wanted to do outside of like once I graduate. Because at this point, I think it was ending my junior year, yeah.
Okay.
So it was the summer after my junior year, and I just had no idea what to do. And, like applications for college and all that kind of stuff starts racking up, and I just was really thinking, I was like, I don't know what I want to study. I don't know what I want to do. This is a lot of pressure, especially as like a first gen student.
Definitely.
Yeah, and my parents only speak Spanish. I mean, now they know a little bit of English, but when I was growing up, it was all Spanish. So that's actually my first language too. And my older sister, they're living their own lives. One of them went to Edgewood College, and so it was different though because of like our difference in like our living situations and stuff like that. So she couldn't help me with any of the applications,
Oh,
and that's when I found out about the program, found out it was free, and I was like, this is something I'd be interested in. I'm not really doing anything this summer anyways, and I was like, I've always kind of had a slight interest in teaching since I was really little. I remember like kindergarten, first grade. I was actually always called bossy. I was like, I don't think I'm bossy. I just think I know what I want. I know how to, teach a class.
For sure.
So I was like, okay, yeah, this will be fun. I didn't actually think that it was going to inspire me to, now study to become a teacher. So it was just another perk of it, I guess.
That's great. That is great. So like when you actually were doing the program Root to Rise, and I noticed that you said you kind of already did want to be a teacher. That was something you somewhat wanted to pursue.
Not, yeah, I wouldn't say not, I would say kind of like not necessarily like I wanted to pursue it. It was more of like, it was kind of like on the back burner. Like that was not my first choice. I didn't have any experience with like children really at that time. I had babysitted, your auntie, your uncle, whatever, they need
Right.
a babysitter. It's like, okay, I gotta deal with the kid. But like it hadn't really been in like a position of authority. It had been more of like as a as a family member. So
Definitely.
that really changed my perspective on teaching, because when I was really little, and I was always inspired to like become a teacher because I wanted to be like the teachers that had inspired me and had been so great to me in my primary years, but then also I wanted to be better than the teachers that I had before, where I felt like I wasn't supported and
Yeah.
they didn't understand my family situation and like everything that my family was going through at the time. I think part of it was I wanted to be like the teachers that had inspired me and had supported me in my primary years, but I think it also was I wanted to be the exact opposite of the maybe not so great teachers I had, where it really felt like I was just another kid in a classroom. Like they didn't genuinely care about me or my struggles, like having Spanish speaking parents, not really bilingual. They didn't really know a lot of English. It was really tough because like if I didn't understand a certain homework assignment or something like that, I didn't do it because I didn't have help at home and I didn't have internet access, and my older sisters were learning English, and we've got like a 5-year age gap,
Yeah.
so you don't really connect with them like you would someone your own age or even the teacher. And there was just a lot of times where like I didn't have the support that I thought I needed, and so just the good teachers inspired me, but then also maybe the not so great ones did too.
Great, great. Yeah. Thank you for touching on that topic, because I know it's a lot of teenagers that are experiencing the same thing as you did when you were coming up, and that it's really important, just to have some type of mentor that you can reach, someone you
Yeah.
can get to, and you beat the odds. So
Yeah.
great.
I know, I completely agree. I think it's really important. And, another reason why I was so inspired to pursue a career in education was also because I wanted to see more people like me being represented. I didn't have
Yes.
any Latin teachers or, Spanish or oriented teachers, I think, until probably like freshman year of high school. That was, I think, the first teacher from what I can remember, so I never really had my culture or even just my primary language. I never had that represented
Yeah.
growing up. So I also kind of you got to be the representation you wish to see.
Exactly. I like the way you put that. Yes, indeed. When you after you graduated the program, what was life like for you? Like, speak about like challenges or accolades, stuff you came across
After I did the program,
after you completed the program. Yeah.
yeah, so kind of I did the program summer of 2021. No, 2022. I did the programs summer of 2022. And it just kind of like, I kind of saw it, I was like, oh, like this might actually be a path for me. This might actually be something that I could do as a career. So then, I start my senior year of high school and I was really lost. I actually didn't end up applying to any colleges because I felt I wasn't good enough, and I also didn't have any help. The counselor I had, I don't think was the best either. I didn't feel supported. And then I got a replacement counselor, and she was battling some other stuff like health issues, and so and also West is a big school. There's so many students, and like the counselors are trying to juggle all of them. So I also understand that it was also like you have one counselor that deals with like I don't know, probably like 500 kids or
Hundreds.
something.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
a ton of kids. So it also was that mixed with like I just didn't know. My parents weren't helpful in that situation because again, they had never had to deal with this. Um, and my sisters were living out doing their own thing, right? Like I don't
Exactly.
blame them for not helping because people live their own lives and they help when they can, but also, your career is or your future is your own. You have to make it your own. And that's something I didn't really understand it was like a fall semester of my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of brought up to Denise that I was like I only had classes until 12 the second semester of my senior year. So I'd go to school from 8:15 to 12 and then from 1 to like 4:35 I would I would go to one city, which is where I had done my tutor mentorship over the past summer. And I told them like I'm free during these times if that works. So I actually ended up
You
doing
got
it
to
then
do it
too.
twice.
Yeah, I got to do it
Oh,
twice,
that's
which was really
cool.
nice. Yeah, it was great. It was nice because I kind of like I don't know. It was nice because I got to see the kids that I had worked with over the summer, and I was like, wow, like, and they were like, oh, Miss Martina, like, it's so good to see you, and you got to see their growth, too,
Yeah.
because, I was working with kindergartners, and now they're in first grade, so they like to act a little more mature,
Yep, got a little taller.
got a little taller, maybe can pronounce some words and
Mm-hmm.
count to 10, and, well, hopefully.
Yeah.
You got to count to, like, 100 at that point,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it was like it was really nice. And then after working at one city as a tutor mentor, I would go work at my actual job. So yeah, it was a rough semester. I was definitely hustling. And then I it was great actually because like I had two jobs, and I was trying to just figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And I knew working at a coffee shop was just not for me. That's not what I wanted to do long term.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just interacting with the kids that second semester just really kind of confirmed it for me. That's like, this is what I want to do with my life. I want to be a teacher. I want to make students feel seen and heard, and I want to be the representation that they need. So that kind of reinforced it for me. During that semester, I was primarily working with kids with disabilities in the classroom. So I was kind of working with kids with autism and kids on the spectrum just in general, behavioral issues too.
Okay. And I'm glad you touched on that because when working with those students, what was it like for you? I know it was something new for you, but like how did you adjust?
I will say it definitely like growing up as someone who is not like I don't have autism, so it was something that I had never really experienced, and I saw the lack of support that these kids need. Like I'm not
Indeed.
trained whatsoever to work with children with different abilities, right? Like I'm not at all trained for that, and so when I was kind of put as it, I kind of was excited to learn something new, and I just like these kids. Just they're so smart. It's just they think differently,
Yeah,
and I think the American education system as a whole is not set up for those students to thrive,
for sure.
and I think that was something that was definitely something that kind of awoke in me where I was like, whoa, like it's not just me as as a first generation American like USA student that was struggling. It was also the kids with different abilities, and that was something that that was something that kind of like was like a little click. I was like, whoa.
Like you feel like you were able to connect.
Yeah,
That
I
was
was
the
able to
connection.
connect with them a little more than I had ever thought I would. And I think that like that was just something that was really beautiful, and I wouldn't change that experience for a world because I'm glad I did it.
That's
And I
amazing.
appreciate the good special ed teachers that are out there. I appreciate them so much because it's hard.
It's
like,
hard.
and I was
Shout
only
out
there.
to the special
Yeah.
ed teachers.
Seriously, I was only with them for a short amount of time every day. Like Monday to I don't remember if it was Monday or Thursday or whatever, but I was only with them for a couple times a week, a couple hours a day. So I can't even imagine what it's like doing that full time. Like that is a difficult job, and it's like it's hard, but it was rewarding too because when you finally see that click where it's like they understand, it's like yes, you laid down the foundation, and I just got to build on it.
For sure, yes. I'd like to make a connection because what I do right now, I'm a greatness coach and at an elementary school, and I work with all students, kindergarten through fifth grade. And before I became the greatness coach, I was a special education assistant. And me doing that job, it was a lot of work, but it was good work. And
Yeah.
I learned something new either about the student or about myself every week for sure. And I also had to switch up my approach for how I would approach other students that did not have disabilities and then students that needed that extra support.
Yeah.
It's a cutoff line between it, and once I found that and once I was able to see that for myself, it made my job easier. So I like to connect with you on that. With leading with Root to Rise, so my big question for you is like, what role has Root to Rise played in your life after graduating the program and after graduating high school and like once you moved on, what has Root to Rise done for you?
Um, kind of everything, to be honest. Like again, I didn't know what I was gonna do, and I was provided this opportunity to tutor mentor, which I have never done before, and I didn't know really what that entailed. And I'm so glad that I was like, I'll try it, because it genuinely just opened up like, this whole other career path and just this whole other kind of universe, to be honest. Like the teaching, I'd consider teaching just a whole universe, right? Like
Yeah.
because I think it's so much more different than maybe other career paths.
Mm-hmm.
So it really just like opened it up completely. And then I was going through personal struggles, and I moved out of state for a little bit. I was living in Austin, Texas, for about 6 months, and then I moved back because I was like, okay, I tried going to school in Austin, Texas. They set up their students to go to college. They do all these exams, and I didn't have any of those done because again I grew up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So they have different regulations and different placement exams you have to take and all this. And I was just like so completely lost. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna move back because my mom moved to Austin and I moved following her a couple months later. I was like, I'm just gonna move back. So I was living with my aunt and uncle at the time, and I was like, my friend was like, let's apply to Madison College. Let's apply to MATC. And I was like, okay. Like, I don't even, like, at this point, I already knew I wanted to go in for teaching, but I just felt discouraged because financially, I couldn't afford, college classes.
Mm-hmm.
And then also trying to save up to move out of the living situation I was in, and try to kind of really start my adult life.
Yeah.
Because it was a really rude awakening. Like, it was kind of like, I had family issues, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, you either have to stay with your aunt or move with your mom. I stayed with my aunt for a couple months, and then I moved with my mom in the long run in Texas for 6 months, and then I moved back with my aunt. So then I was really just trying to get on my feet and really, like, figure out what my career path was, how am I going to get there. Root to Rise really helped. They provided so many resources, like financial help too. Like that's kind of the hardest thing is like, and also just like these cool events I get to go to, and like I get to interact with people that also like care about like kids. It's great.
Yeah.
It's good.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Thank you
it's
for
really
sharing
rewarding.
that. Like, cause that's an important part for when tutor mentors graduate the program. We don't Root to Rise doesn't necessarily want to cut them off
Yeah,
at
no.
that end. You know.
Exactly. Yeah, and I thought that's what it was going to be because I didn't really know what was going on, and I didn't even know they had
Thrive.
they had the Thrive. Yeah, I didn't even know they had the Root to Rise Thrive program either. So like when I had found out about that, I was like, whoa, this is like a really good program. Like they're helping not only like adolescents, they're helping adults, like adults that everyone's dealt different cards in life, right? Like
That's right.
everyone's dealt with different stuff that they have to deal with, and so like just seeing what Root to Rise was doing with these adults that maybe like didn't have the easiest life growing up, or just in general, like it was like wow, like this program is actually doing things and it's working, and so yeah, I was just like I'm proud that I was part of it and that I still am. So
Great.
yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
So I'm hoping to transfer to UW-Madison for their Teacher Pledge program by next spring. I'm taking some summer classes and then fall, so then hopefully I'll be done with all my credits and then I can transfer to UW-Madison by this next spring semester.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, I'm excited.
Making moves.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I signed up today for the summer classes, and I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? I'm like, no, I have a goal, I have a vision, I need to do it.
There you go.
So yeah, I'll be taking some summer classes and then hopefully transferring to UW. How many times can I repeat that, huh? How many times? Let's count. But yeah, that's what I hope to do, and then I'll be there for 2 years, hopefully get my teaching license, and then because of the Teacher Pledge program, I'll if I get accepted, fingers crossed.
Hey.
I'm gonna manifest that
Let's
I am gonna
manifest
get
it.
accepted.
You already got
am,
in.
yeah. Yes, thank you. I'm actually gonna have a celebration actually.
Yeah.
But do my 2 years here, and then once I graduate with my teaching license, I hope to stay because of the Teacher Pledge program. They will pay for all of your schooling needs, all that kind of stuff, if you teach, depending on the career path you take or teaching, right? Like I'm technically considered a high need teacher because I want to teach elementary education. So I have to teach in a Wisconsin public school for 3 years, and then all my tuition, all that will be forgiven. I don't have to pay any of it back.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
I
And let me
know.
just tell you, those 3 years are gonna go like.
Yeah, exactly. And then after that, I will probably either stay. I'm hoping to do my teaching in the Madison area as well. I grew up here. I actually really love Madison. I used to hate it. Like I used to be like, oh my god, like why can't I live in New York or Los Angeles? But it's like I've grown into myself, and I appreciate because like my parents, they immigrated here, so I'm like, why couldn't you pick somewhere cool? Like, why Wisconsin and Madison at that? Milwaukee would have been cooler. But now I've grown, a little wiser, and I'm
For
like,
sure.
okay, I'm actually really thankful that, like, I grew up here. It's a beautiful city. It's growing so much. Like, even within these past 5 years, it's been kind of crazy, the amount of buildings they're building. And so I hope to stay in the Madison area. Potentially, right? And then after those 3 years are up, either stay in Madison again, or I'd like to move to Austin, Texas, and teach there because I want to be close to my mom as she's getting older.
Most definitely. That is great. I would like to sort of like kind of end on a note of like, where do you, what are your hopes for the program? What are the hopes for your program, Root to Rise, and where do you see Root to Rise in like the next 5 years, as well as like the hopes for it?
Yeah, for the next 5 years for Root to Rise, I mean, it's such an amazing program. It's helped so many people in the community already, and my hopes and dreams for it would be to get more funding so we can go to more schools, and I want to expand it. I mean, in the next 5 years, I'm hoping we're all over Wisconsin, and hopefully in Illinois, in the Chicago areas especially. I feel like, those kids that, maybe don't live in the best neighborhoods in not even just Chicago, but just in all the Midwest, like that would be my dream for Root to Rise, is to get the funding and it's adequate enough so we can help these students not end up in just another system, not end up in this like where they don't know what they're doing, they're getting into jail, they're going, they're doing things that are illegal because they just didn't have that support. They didn't have someone to guide them and be like, this is a great path. Just try it. If it's not for you, it's not for you, but at least you tried it. Like, I just feel like having the opportunity, it's like it creates an opportunity really, like, to connect with people in your own community, and also to just connect with your adolescence and your childhood, your primary years. Like, you see yourself in these kids, like, as an adult, as an adolescent, as a high school student, you see yourself like in each of these like kids that you're working with, and it's like wow, like I can actually help them so they won't struggle as much as me. Yes. And even if it's just for those 30-40 minute sessions, 60-minute sessions that you have a couple times a week, it's still like is something that you're doing to actively help the community. And I think at Root to Rise, I that's my hope, is just they expand, and I hope we get I just hope it becomes a big thing, because I think this is something that should be happening nationwide.
Definitely.
I mean, really, but realistically, in the next 5 years, I'm definitely hoping in the Milwaukee area and the Chicago areas and those bigger parts, and then also the rural areas, because those are forgotten too.
Yes. Thank you, thank you, Martina. This is a great interview. Before we close it off, do you have anything else that you would like to add or touch on before we?
I mean, honestly, thank you for having me. I was so nervous. You saw I was so nervous, but it actually is actually a really great thing to talk about my experience, because I just kind of wanted to get the word out there, really. Like, this is a good program, and I hope you interview other people that did the program as well. I think that'll be a great thing to do. But I don't have anything to add.
Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for coming to the Root to Rise podcast. You're the first to do the video, so this was really cool experience. And make sure you smash that like button.
Subscribe, share with your friends, post it on TikTok. No, don't do that. I don't want to be on TikTok. Yay!